Good morning, children. Today again we are going to see one of the lesson that is regarding to the spacecraft that you have already, one of the part we have already seen. Yes? So how the Neil Storm and other scientists, how they have landed on the moon. So today we are going to see one more lesson of UFO. You know what is a UFO? Yes, you might have seen in the picture. Yes, the movie name I really don't remember, but you can see it on the, you might have seen the Hrithik Roshan, where Jadoo pictures. Yes, where the certain spacecraft landed on the ground, right? And some type of unusual creatures come out of it. So that is called a UFO. The Boy, the Dog and the Spaceship, Nicholas Fix. There was a boy and his dog running and rolling and chasing in a field. There was a spaceship hultering through the space. Most of its crew already dead and the rest fighting to a land on a strange planet. The boy's name was Billy. He was 9. His dog was called Scam. It was young too. Boy and dog understood each other perfectly. Billy shouted, "Devil dog," and chased Scam until he was tired out. Then they sat down together, side by side, in the evening shadow. When they had got their breath back, Billy shouted, "Devil dog," and the chase started all over again. So there was a boy. And what was the name of a boy? The name of a boy was Billy. And he was just 9 years old. He was having a dog. And what was the name of a dog? The name of a dog was Cam. He was a young too. Okay. Now both boy and a dog, now you can see the picture, the both of them understood each other perfectly. So as the Billy shouted, "Devil dog," what they used to do? They used to chase each other. Okay, and when they become tired, they used to sit together side by side. And they breathe it a little, and again they start chasing all over again. In the spaceship, the captain contacted the engineer. Report, the captain barked. "I want your report. Make your report." Bark means what here, children? Spoke in a loud and anger manner. So in a spacecraft, the captain contacted the engineer and he shouted loudly that, "I want your report just now. Make your report." The engineer spoke. It is no good, Captain. It is no good. We will just hit, Captain. We are going to crash. So what the engineer said, that the UFO is not working properly. It is not good. The condition is not good. And any time there will be a crash. Second later, the ship checked so violently. Check means, you can say, braked, that captain felt all over. He got up only to notice that the engineer's light had died, which means that the engineer had died. He was quite alone. So within a second, what happened to the spaceship? It has checked down. It has came down, or we can say break violently, and entirely it fell over the captain. Okay. And what he noticed, that the light of the engineers were almost gone. That means the engineer was dead. And who was alive? Only the captain. He was left alone. He switched off and began to fit himself into the crash ball cocoon. He pressed a button and padded arm unfolded him. A little tubular snake leaped from a paddle hole and latched itself to a socket near his neck. His clothing began to swell. Then the wall of cocoon soon. He was completely enmeshed in a puffy softness, pressing it tighter and tighter. He waited for the stab. It came. The needle darted into one of the captain's veins. A drug entered his bloodstream. Almost immediately he felt drowsy and uncomfortable. The same needle was connected to a whole junction of a teeny tube filled with his own blood and plasma, with painkiller and other life giver and life adjuster, even with a painless death. In a control center, the screen showed a green and a blue planet with a sea and clouds and the land mass coming near all the time. The boy whistled for his dog. Here the boy, he commanded and whistled again. So what is this about, children? This is about that how after the UFO has crashed on the land, what has happened? The snakes came out from the petal, they bite on, they keep on biting those creatures, okay? And whatever the poison that was been through, we can say it was spread all over the body of that captives. And not only that, the modula was completely been crashed out. So, and all thing was been observed by the operator who were operating the UFO in the space. And what they can see the water, the air, the tree, we can say the different landmass, because we are on the earth. The boy whistled for his dog. Here's the boy. He commanded and whistled again. Scam sprang toward the boy, being silly. Pranks means was just to move in a lively way. He wanted to make a boy laugh, but the boy was Solomon. He was proud of having such a well-trained dog. Good, all scam, he said gravely. A minute later, the boy and the dog were whistling in the glass. Now see, this boy and the dog, they were busy in their life. The boy was whistling, the dog was giving a response to it. They were having a very chestful and a playful throughout the playful manner, the playful mood throughout the day. And the dog was trained in such a good way that he was giving each and every response to the boy. The ship entered Earth's atmosphere. Its metal skin now drove against the air instead of space. The ship screamed. Its metal skin changed color and in place glowed dull red with the heat. So, when it came down and landed on the crash on the earth, what happened? The body of the spaceship was changed. The boy and the dog stopped their whistling match and looked about them. You heard it? It went short of woods, Billy said, to a scam. Views, scam flicked his. Flick means what, student? To move in a short quick moment. Head sideways to acknowledge his master words, but went on, starting at the dark corner of the tree. Scamp had heard the noise. He didn't know where it came from, but he knew where it led. He marked the place with his nose and mind, over there by the dark tree. Now certainly when you can see here, when the spacecraft has landed, or you can say a crash on the earth, the body of the color was changed and the smoke started coming out from the spacecraft, okay, and there was a huge noise of that spacecraft. And who has heard it? The little boy and the scam. So that what is like, said the captain. He had never before experienced a crash landing. He waited for the needle to deliver what his body needed. While he was waited, he made his mind think and plan. Conquest. His mind said, I am alone, but I am still there as a conqueror. I will conquer this planet if there is a ruling spice on this planet. So after being landing on the land, it was a different experience for the captain. Yes, now he was just waiting for the needles. Needles means what? The indicator that was been present on the spacecraft, that whatever his body needs now. Now he waited, he made his mind and he think of a plan. Now even he was alone, he was thinking of a plan. What plan? To capture the entire planet. Okay. The new conqueror of a planet Earth pressed the release control, flexed his limb, that is a stress, okay, the limb has to be stressed, tested his organ and sense, opened the main door and stepped forward. Now he was completely on a mood to conquer the planet. Which planet? Earth. So what he did, he stressed out his limbs, everything. See, mere haath pair, my hands and legs are proper or not. Okay. Then he tested up all his organs, the body organs, whether it is working or not. And then what he did, he just opened the door and came out of the uniform. Billy's mother was calling to him from the house. Billy, you come home now, or I will. Scam, he won't come, shouted Billy furiously, and he wouldn't. Billy could see Scam running up and down by the edge of the tree. The dog's ears were pricked, his tails were held high, his body alert. He just would not obey. Now, the children, the animals, they are more sensitive. They have a sixth sense. Their sixth sense are more active than the human being. So if we might have seen, the people may talking, the dogs are crying, the cats are crying, that means something is going to be happen, unnatural thing is going to be happen. Because they have their sixth sense are more active. They can see the things which we can't see. So the UFOs are already crashed on the land, and this dog, he was using his sixth sense. That means something unnatural has been happened here. So he was just roaming around the tree and he was not in a way to listen to the boy. The captain helmet indicator read safe, so the planet's air was breathable. Nevertheless, he kept his helmet on. He was glad to be protected with a special helmet and armor suit. If the captain nervous muscles and movement said run, the suit would run endlessly. If the captain body said climb, the suit would keep climbing for him. Okay. The captain helmet indicator radar safe. That means almost they were from the space. So they might have used more technology, advanced technology. So captain was wearing a helmet, and what that helmet was indicating, that you are being safe. That means you can breathe air in planets. Okay. So that captain was also having a armor suit. So what was the main thing about that suit? The suit would obey the command of the captain. In what way? If the captain say to run, it can run. If the captain says the body has to climb, so it will keep on climbing for him. Now was the time the captain realized to climb. A vast green trunk sprang from the soil very near him. It was right size and the shape it had projection. Ideal for climbing, he clasped his limb around his trunk. The stuff took over and climbed him toward the dark blue sky, away from the spaceship with the cargo of death. Scanned black nostril could smell this new stench there, over there. He gave a sniffle yelp of ecstasy. Sniffle yelps means what, student? That means, you might have seen when a dog walk on, they keep on smelling. They get a suppressed type of or substitute type of smells. Easily they can smell it if there is unnatural things is around them, and bounded toward it. Billy shouted one last time before he headed home. Scam! Scam! Scam did not hear. Only tracking down the smell mattered. So what the scam was doing? The scam was just moving along with the smell. Okay, he was just ignoring the voice of the boy. The captain could climb no higher. The green column that support him was bending and swaying under his weight. He was in a dense forest of green columns. all very much the same as the one he had climbed, yet each one different. He adjusted his helmet to take in air from the outside. The air was moist, perfumed, spirituous. Spirituous means magnificence. An amazing planet, so rich with life, and he was to be in conquer. The door was turning, the captain dreamed of glory. Her nose was actually touching the wonderful source of the supreme sense. He licked the source of the smell. It was cold and dewy and hard like a container. Carefully, he opened his mouth and picked up the thing in his jaw. Nothing happened, so he put it down again, holding it between his front paws and looked at it with his head to one side. It seemed harmless. He lowered his head and opened his jaw and bit. So, now what the scam was doing? He just went to the side where the noise wasn't coming out. Okay, and he had checked out very carefully. And what he did, he just took up some piece of the things that was scattered around, and he found nothing has happened unnatural. The captain saw a monster. It was a living thing, not a machine, and it traveled at incredible speed. Trampling means, you can say, stopping or stepping on something. The green column and spear flat in the hazard. The monster was a white, brown and black and ran on a four leg. Now according to this captain, they belong from a different world. Okay, they don't know about the creatures or the animal that are present on the earth. So the dog was a huge monster for him, and what he found, that a dog was having the creature was having a four leg. There is a dog, and it was made up of different colors, and it can run, jump as fast as it can be. When the monster face opened, it was pink inside and has pointed, sharp white mountain above the below. The monster had done various things to the ship that the captain could not see. Finally, it had picked up the ship, holding it between the white mountain, and crushed it. The captain had heard the metal screech. All right, this was what the captain had to do, one step at a time. The captain must enter the body of the monster so that he could take it over in the unusual way. Then he had to invade the monster brain and gain control of his body and his action. After that, all spices, high or low, would eventually obey the captain. By then, the captain would have contacted his home planet. Most spaceship would come bearing shelter at last. The captain race would have found a safe, fitting, rich, and permanent home. He went toward the monster. Belly, want to go back out and find the scam? He was worried now. His mother said, finish your homework now that you have had a supper. She bustled out of the room. A minute or so later, he heard the TV. Now she wouldn't miss him. He tiptoed on the back door and was soon on his way to the big field. The captain had chosen a green spear to climb a flat side spear that would bend when he reached the top of it. The monster was not moving. It was crouched over the remaining of the ship. Climb, just as he reached the right place. The captain made a split-second decision and leaped into a nothingness. He stretched his limb, clutched and held on the monster. Victory. Gripping one cluster of white or brown or black road after another, the captain clambered. Clambered means what? That means crawled. Okay? He is away long the monster, making for the brain. It was above the monster face. He could feel the brain energy. He came to the entrance of the tunnel leading into a monster head and smiled. He clambered into the tunnel, the suit making light work of the journey. He made himself comfortable outside the entrance of the tunnel and checked some reading and response good. The monster could hear him. You all enjoy this. The captain told the monster, you are likely obeying me. You will like the thing you do. You will obey me, won't you? Of course, you will. You will obey me always. Billy found Scam at the first. He was glad to find him, but soon he was puzzled. Scam kept shaking his head, and he was running. He got a bird in his ear, though Billy or an insect and it. Scam was running in irregular pattern, a straight line, a pause, a turn of left, then other, straight line, then a pause and turn of right. It looked red in a moonlight. Billy began to get frightened. Then Scam suddenly sat down some 10 yards away and looked straight at Billy. The dog did not move a muscle, he just stared. The captain halted the monster and thought very carefully. The monster is a servant creature, he decided, and the upright monster, the one that just arrived, in a superior creature because he make audio signal and expect them to be obeyed. I must strike now, Billy said, almost pleading. Pleading means begging. Come on, boy, good boy, come on, Scam, please. But the dog just stared motionless as his eyes looked vacant. The captain spoke to the dog brain. Kill, said the captain. Kill that creature there. The dog attacked Scam. Yelled Billy. Don't scam. Now see. The machine has dominated the mind of the dog. Okay? Now whatever the command was given by the captain was being followed by the dog. No, it is quite exciting. Now, previously we have seen that dog was following the command of or we can say the request or the playful manner of the boy. But now the dog, the brain, that was a love. Okay, whatever the dog was doing for the boy, the Scam was doing for the boy, that was a feeling of love. But here the machine has, the computer we can say, has dominated the brain of the dog. And what the dog was doing was following the command. So as the captain has commanded to kill the boy, what the dog did, he attacked on the boy. Scam overran him, overran means attacked, and turned and charged again, snarled like a hound of hell. And then the dog had hurled the boy to the ground and was standing over him, jaws open, teeth bare. Scam! It was a scream of terror. The dog paused. The voice in his ear, inside his head, said, kill. But the old love voice was calling to asking for help. Now both the things was very confusing for the dog. It was a quite, we can say a screaming type. No? On one side there was a command who was holding his brain, and other side there was an old love. The dog paused. The boy struck out blindly with the fist. He hit the dog's ear. Something small fell to the ground unseen. The little thing was mortally wounded. It's sweet. Scam said, oof, in a vague way that looked at the Billy. The dog licked the boy's face, wagged his tail, and sheepishly got off Billy's chest. He sat down and scratched his ear with a hind paws, but the itching has gone. The little unseen thing breathed for the last time, that is to stretch his body about in pain. And hidden in the grass, the captain died. The boy and the dog rollicked. Rollicked means moved in a carefree or happy manner, off together across the moonlit field. By the edge of the tree, the dew was heavy on the spaceship. Soon it would rust and become as brown as the earth, but now it was still glinting in the tall weeds. In the moonlight, you wouldn't have noticed where its body was crushed and dented. It looked like a super perfect model, little but marvelous made. So what happened at last? At last, the love has won, and the dog, the Scam, started following the order of the boy, and the captain was been dead, and nothing was been left, because till the morning the body of the captain, the spacecraft, everything will be turned into a brown as the color of the earth. Okay, so what has remained at last? The love of the boy and the dog. So students, you might have understood the lesson very well. Now I shall move towards the grammar. Conditional clauses. A clauses that describe something that might happen only if something else happened or would have happened is known as conditional clauses. If clauses are also known as conditional clause, they are used to show that the action in the main clause can only take place in a certain condition is fulfilled. In such case, many sentences contain the word if. Now type 1. Okay, if clauses in a simple present and main clause in a simple future. If there is a ruling species on this planet, I will invent the main creature of that species and thus become a ruler of all. Type 2, an unreal condition and its probability result. If the clause is simple past, if the captain nerves, muscles and movement said run, the main clause present conditional or present continuous, the suits all would run endlessly. Type 3, an unfulfilled past condition and its probability result in the past. If clause past perfect, main clause perfect conditional. If Billy had wished to punish the captain, his dog would have taught him a lesson. Now I will move toward the sentences. Okay children? We will solve the sentences now. Now what is here you have to match the phrases. Here you have to match the phrases. If I were a millionaire, what will be? Can you tell me? I would buy a chalet. She would not have an accident. Then, if she has driven carefully, I will watch the flame. What will be the answer? I will watch the flame. If you recommend it, he will come home. If he come home, if he arrives early, if you spoke English, she would understand it. Okay, children? So, here we have a synonymous and antonyms that I have already explained to you. The scam black nostril could smell this new tense. The scam did not hear, only the tracking down the smell matter. So the highlighted words tense and smell mean the same. They are synonymous. Antonyms of a tense is a fragrance. It means opposite. So word carefully, dutifully, disobedient, obedient, imprison, careless, capture, cautions, release. So student, goodbye and have a good day. You might have understood the lesson and the grammar very well. Thank you. We will meet on the next session.